I love it whenever I can bring a new tool to podcasters. So today we are going to talk about Pod Inbox, a new tool that I think you're going to find really interesting. So let's get right to it. Hey y'all, Crystal here today, and we are going to set up your Pod Inbox account. Well, technically it's my Pod Inbox account, but I'm going to walk you through the process of this new tool that I think will be really fun for podcasters to use. So let's go to the computer and let's do a walkthrough. So if you go to podinbox.com, this is where you're going to find everything that we're doing here today. And I recently just set up my account. So we're going to walk through what Pod Inbox is used for. I actually talked to the creator, Pat. Shut up, Pat. This is so fun to be doing this with you. But we talked about doing a little bit of a collaboration to show the podcast community how they can use this. I told him it's kind of like a SpeakPipe page, which if you don't know what that is, it's where people can leave you voice memos and leave different things that you can share on your podcast. It's kind of like that, but also a place to engage and create a community for your podcast listeners. So I want to go over here. There are no messages that have been sent. I'm strictly I signed up for my account and I signed in, but I wanted to walk through a few of the different things. So there's no messages here. I'm going to show you why here in a second. This is my profile. I could upload a profile pic, which I'm going to do right now. So there we go. I have a profile pic. Let me scroll down here. I'm going to input my bio and my Instagram and my website. There we go. I just added a shortened version of my bio. Now I'll add Instagram. And then I'm going to put my website right on here. And I don't think I need to have that included. And my Instagram. So there's my profile, and let's go back up to the top. I'm going to go to account, and then this is where I have my email and my password, so everything is super simple. But now that I have my basic profile set up, I'm actually going to add my podcast to Pod Inbox. So you go to account, and then you go over to shows, and then it says add a show. So I'm going to click add a show, and I could put my podcast cover art. I'll upload that now. And then I want to create a public URL for, it'll be podinbox.com/The Profit Podcast. That's what I want it to be. And then the show name, I'll put The Profit Podcast. Then I'm going to click create show. And there it is. So it looks like I have the option to toggle it on. So there it says show active. Okay, now that the Profit Podcast is set up, I'm going to go up here and click view page. So it's going to take me to, this is like the default setup. And what's really cool is I could send people here. I could tell them go to podinbox.com/The Profit Podcast, and you can leave me a message. How fun is that, right? So I can click on here. It says, ask me anything. We'd love to hear from you. This is kind of the default of how I get set up. I can click, okay, allow. And you can see it's picking up my microphone. So I'm going to leave a quick message. Thank you so much for stopping by my Pod Inbox over on the Profit Podcast. I cannot wait to hear from you, and I hope that you leave a fun message so we can start a conversation. Okay, that was super cheesy, but it was really cool. So I actually want to listen to this. Thank you so much for stopping by my Pod Inbox over on the Profit Podcast. I cannot wait to hear from you, and I hope that you leave a fun message so we can start a conversation. Okay, that was pretty cool. So I could listen to it if I were leaving this on someone else's page, and then I could click save recording, and then it's going to upload and it's going to be there on my page. And because I have a profile picture, it defaulted to what I have because I have a Pod Inbox account. So then other people will be able to listen to this message. I will get a notification. Remember earlier I talked about I don't have any messages? Well, when someone leaves something on my profile page, I can go back and listen. So let's go see if I got a notification. Okay, so I just refreshed this page and now I have a few different options. Previously, I just had messages sent, my profile, my account. Now I have an inbox. So if I go to my inbox, look, it's right there. So if I were to tell people, hey, I want to feature some podcasters in my community, or I wanted to feature other people in the audience, I would tell people to go to podinbox.com/The Profit Podcast to leave me a voice memo that I would share on the podcast. Typically, when people leave different little voice memos, I like them to be anywhere from 30 to 90 seconds max. That way it doesn't get into a really long piece of audio that I have to edit down or anything like that. So it's really cool. So let's see. I should just be able to download this audio file right here. And there we go. There it is. So I can open it. And then it opened up in another page.
Thanks so much for stopping by.
So it's right there. So I could actually take this audio file, this MP3, and put it into my podcast. But another fun thing, and where Pod Inbox goes above and beyond, is if this were a listener of my show, I could actually respond to them. Thank you for your message. Submit. I could do an audio reply. This is even cooler. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to click on here. I'm actually going to delete this because I want to do a reply with the voice memo. This is going to be really cool. All right, are you ready? Okay, I noticed something. I was about to start recording and I went over here and I clicked the little gear right here because I realized this message sounded a little echoey. It's because it was using my camera mic and not my actual podcast mic. So I went down and I clicked on my microphone that I wanted to pick up. So that's just something that I would pick up on, but make sure you have the right mic selected. So let me go to start recording. I just wanted to record an audio thank you so people could see what it was like to respond back to someone else's audio file that they left for you on your Pod Inbox page. So let me see, it sound good? I just wanted to record an audio thank you so people could see what it was. Okay, awesome. Sounds great. I'm going to save it. So now I have replied back to someone in an audio form and they could play this and hear it. I like how there's different shapes too, so you can see who's responded, who hasn't. I wanted to tell you as a podcast host, another really cool thing that Pod Inbox does. If you go over to contacts, this is someone who has come to my page. I know it's myself, right? But it's someone that's come to my page and I can actually do lead generation using Pod Inbox. In other words, this is another way for me to build my email list. If you have not watched the video that we've done about building an email list with the podcast, make sure you go check out that free training because it's really, really helpful and it will help you get started in understanding why it's really important. But you can actually download the CSV file of all of your email addresses from people that have visited your page, and you could upload those into your email service provider. Very, very cool. So let's go down to show page. So this is what it looks like. I can go to my inbox. So this is where I could customize what the box looks like on my main page. So let me go back to my page again. So this part right here where it says ask me anything, I can update that to be whatever I want it to be. So let's go change it to ask me anything. I want it to be thanks for stopping by. And then I'm going to say, please leave a message for the Profit Podcast, and your audio clip could be aired on one of our episodes. Pretty fun, right? And then record your message. That's fine. I could actually record a video if I wanted to put it out there. We're not going to do that today. We're doing a really simple tutorial, but I'm going to click Save Changes. And there we go. So you can see it says, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to come over to this page and I'm going to click Refresh. Very cool. So I could say, please leave a message for the Profit Podcast in your audio clip. So I can customize a lot of these things. And I think that this is a really cool tool that podcasters should be using immediately. I think it's really, really fun. So let me go back. The last thing, let's go over to links. So this is where I could add links for the show. So I can put my Apple Podcast links, Spotify, Google Play, and then other links if I want to add all of my social accounts. I would put Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or my email. Like I could put all these things here and it would populate on my show page. So I'm going to go in later and fill those in. That way they show up on my page. And then I could also put this widget. I could copy this code and put it on my website somewhere. But I think that it looks better having the real clean page on its own pod inbox page / the Profit Podcast. I think it looks better that way, but it's cool. To each their own. You may have a different use case to take this code and put it on your website or using a pop-up widget. Another thing is team members. So I could add a team member. I could add someone to my team and say, hey, here you can have access to it to manage the back end. If you're working with a podcast manager or you have a virtual assistant that you would love to do this, then you could absolutely go there and do it here. But super cool, right? I would love to hear in the comments some of your use cases for how you could use this. I know that monetization is coming in future iterations of Pod Inbox, and I think that this is going to be a really cool tool that podcasters can use in the future. So tell me in the comments what you think about Pod Inbox. I think that just having the ability to record messages and do lead generation, those two things, it's awesome. Those two things alone are incredible. I think it's going to be even cooler whenever they roll out features that have to do with helping podcasters monetize their show. But tell me in the comments whatever questions you have about Pod Inbox. But that's all I have for you today. So make sure you hit the thumbs up on this video if you found it helpful. Subscribe below if you have not already. Make sure you check out these other videos right here, all about podcasting and running your online business. And as always, remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere.